My name is Logan Dubill, and you are watching Campus Reform. Today we're at the University of Pittsburgh talking with college students about offensive language in the classroom. There's currently a device being tested in Dubai that is meant to sound off an alarm every time someone says something offensive. Do students believe that this device belongs in U.S. classrooms? And if so, whose definition of offensive language should be used to develop the product? Let's find out. There's currently a product being tested in Dubai. It's being tested in classrooms there. It's going to serve as a trigger warning detector. So every time someone says something offensive in the classroom, it's going to set off a loud alarm. What are your thoughts about this?
It's a good system. It can be a bit disruptive. There are better ways.
That could be distracting. How would it know what's offensive?
It's different. It's pretty cool though.
What are they calling triggering?
How does that work when they are having discussions in the classroom about topics that are a little more sensitive?
Triggering is relative.
A whole lot of things can be offensive. It's kind of just like really broad.
That has the potential to be really useful. It depends what they determine as offensive.
It would be useful.
Maybe helpful for students to make sure that they're not offending anyone.
Do you think that that's something that you would support being implemented in U.S. classrooms?
People being assholes. Yeah, I think that's great, obviously.
Probably not. It seems like a weird concept to me.
I think it has its place teaching people what is offensive.
I guess not. The teacher has the same ability as this machine.
There are a lot of people that say a lot of offensive things.
I don't know if I'd want to implement it on a wide scale.
Yeah.
Maybe not on a large scale first, but test it out in a few classrooms.
What is your definition of offensive language?
It's a relative idea.
Language that just brings other people down.
It could change. My opinion could vary from someone else's.
Hate speech, anything that is racist, homophobic, praising white supremacy.
Anything bringing hate towards other people, transphobia, homophobia, racist language.
Anything that can harm someone else.
Slurs, talking about someone's body, disorders.
Any language that is used intentionally to harm someone else.
Something that is aimed at something that they can't change.
Do you think that there are some things that people find offensive that others don't?
100%.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how language works.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Definitely. Everyone has their own experience with offensive words.
The fact that people have different opinions, do you think that that will cause development issues at all?
It might cause some opposition from people.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yeah, everyone has their own opinions, what's offensive and what's not.
Yeah, it's about what us as a culture find offensive at that time.
It definitely would. You would need people picking what is and isn't going to set off the alert.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Do you think that policing speech that others may not like, do you think that that's the best way to combat people getting offended?
Yes and no.
There are better ways to do that. If I was in a classroom with that, I'd be scared to speak.
It's a way of educating them about what they're doing and how it's wrong.
It's all about education. Teaching people the significance of words rather than just telling them they can't say it.
The best would be education. Learning to be more empathetic, then you will hopefully not use offensive language.
It could have benefits in a lot of ways, but with that power in the wrong hands, it could go really left.
Censorship always seems like a good blanket solution to problems. In practice, I rarely feel like it actually does what they want it to do.
Do you think policing speech that others don't like, do you think that this is going too far or crossing a boundary in any way?
Maybe.
To an extent, yes.
In some ways, yes. It's really complex.
No, if you're saying something that is blatantly offensive, that's just inappropriate. It doesn't create a safe environment for other students.
I don't think so. It does need to be done. Certain things you just can't say.
It depends. I wouldn't want any racism or sexism at all.
Depending on the context, yes, there's some things that are just unacceptable. It's something that quite easily can go wrong. We want to explore a diversity of opinions no matter what.
Some people are definitely going to be like, oh, freedom of speech.
This is a good way for older people to be able to check themselves.